Hello everyone, welcome back to Midlife Budget. If you're new here, I'm Kate and we are a couple in our 50s with a teenage son who are rebuilding our finances after having to navigate some of life's curveballs and also overcome our previous poor money management. Our goal is to build financial security and to save and invest for a stress-free and enjoyable retirement, hopefully in about 10 years' time. So if you want to see some real numbers and a real budget, a realistic budget with life's ups and downs, then you're in the right place. And in today's video, I am going to share with you our December budget. So the income that we've got coming in, and then how are we going to use that money to cover our expenses and to save for our goals and more long-term expenses. So let me bring my budget in. So I use the Budget by Paycheck workbook from the Budget Mum. I've used it for years and I really like her method. I find it easy to follow and I like having everything in one place. And I also like being able to write it down. It's what works best for me. I think I like that kind of visual of being able to sort of see it all in one place. So I have put the link to the workbook in the description of the video if anybody is interested in that. I think she had a Black Friday sale on. I don't know if it's still on. Okay, so this is December for us. And this is where I always start when I am planning my budget, is to make sure I don't forget anything. And we know what December's like. It's a very busy month, isn't it? Socially, we've always got extra things. So my budget starts on the 28th, Friday the 28th, when I get paid. And it's actually a 5-week month for us because I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Fridays before I get paid again at the end of the month. Now, it's likely that I will get paid early, but I don't touch that money. I budget on what I've got in for December, even though the money will probably come in on Christmas Eve, I think. I won't count it until it's kind of when it would come in normally because I've planned my December pay to cover everything I need to cover in December. So as you can see, it's very busy. There's lots going on. So Sunday the 30th, so my husband was out rather on the 29th, but that comes out of his personal spending allowance. On Sunday the 30th, we need to go and pay for Christmas lunch. So we are, for the first time since my son was born, and he's 16 next year, we are going out for Christmas lunch. We've always had Christmas lunch at our own house. But there's only the 3 of us this year. So we thought, let's do something different. Let's go to the local pub and we can walk there and walk back. So that's going to be great. So I've got to pay for that today. And we're also going to put up our Christmas tree. A job I absolutely detest. It's too fiddly for me. I'm not artistic. I'm not creative. And it's just a pain. It's an absolute pain. I think I hate putting it up more than I actually hate taking it down. Okay, so that's for the Sunday. Monday, our child benefit will come in. And Tuesday, I've just written on there that I've got a hygienist appointment. But as you can see, I'm away with work for 2 nights and a very late night on the Thursday. So I think it's highly likely that I'll defer that until January. Because I've just got too much on this week. On Saturday, I'm getting my nails done. I get my Christmas nails on. And it's my friend's birthday, but she's actually on holiday for a week. So I do need to get that card sent before I go away. And then what else have we got on? So the following week, it's just work. And then I am away for a work's Christmas do. So this is away client. This is away my company. So that's an overnight there. It's all paid for. I don't need to pay for anything for that one. And on a Friday, my husband's actually out as well. He's got Christmas do. He's just told me about, I think they're going for a Chinese buffet. I think it's the only place they could get in because the boss had taken so long to arrange it. Again, his is paid for. He'll be going straight after work and driving home, so there'll be no spending on sort of booze or anything for him. Saturday, I need to finish my Christmas shopping. And then on Sunday, we're going to my mum's for lunch. Well, we're going to my mum's house, but we'll be going to the pub for lunch because my mum's 85. So she's, and I've got dietary needs. She doesn't know what I'm a teenager will eat. So it's just awkward for her. It's too much like hard work. So we just go out to this lovely pub about 20 minutes from her house that do a carvery, and it's lovely. It's not cheap, but it's lovely, and and they do really good gluten-free. So they even have gluten-free Yorkshire puddings, you get your own jug of gravy, and they have lots of gluten-free desserts as well. So it's a real treat, that one. And then the run up to the Christmas week is quite quiet. I'm getting my hair cut on the Friday evening, and then I'm out on the Saturday with the girls, just into the local city for a few beverages. And my husband's offered to pick me up and drop me off, which is fab, because it means that the taxis are double what I'd actually spend on drinks when I was out. So he's going to do that for me, which is fab. And then it's Christmas week, isn't it? So my son breaks up on the Friday, on the Friday the 19th. I'll have to go and pick him up from school, because his school bus only comes at the normal time. It won't come any earlier. So I've got to go pick him up. And then we've got quite a quiet week in the run up to Christmas. My company has an office shutdown over Christmas. So I will probably finish early on Christmas Eve, and then I'm not back to work until the 2nd of January. My husband is working all in between, beforehand and in between. So say we've got the pub on the 25th, we'll just be chilling out, and then we'll go to the Panto. And it's the first time we've been to an evening Panto. I couldn't get tickets for the matinee. So they're all paid for. It's probably saved us a few quid actually, because if it'd been a matinee, we probably would have gone for something to eat afterwards. But because it's 7 o'clock, we'll just eat at home, go there and have an ice cream or take some sweets or something. And we don't buy a programme, but the tickets are very expensive. But we've done it since my son was 3. Not every, I think there's a couple of years we missed. We missed a couple of years around COVID. But yeah, that's what we've done. And then my husband and I are out on the Sunday afternoon with some friends that we've hardly seen this year. So we've made a commitment to see them on the 28th. And then I've got another child benefit coming in on the 29th. And then I always do the Francesca Rambert goal setting party. So she has a podcast, Law of Attraction Changed My Life, and a book club that I'm also a member of. And I really enjoy that goal setting party. It's supposed to be about an hour, I think. It usually ends up being about 2, where you reflect on what you've achieved in the year before and you set specific goals for the next year, broken down by quarters. And it's really good. I really enjoy it. So I will be doing that on the 30th. And then we've got Christmas. I haven't written anything on that one because my budget will start again probably on the 31st is when I'll start, or rather on the 1st is when my budget will start. But on the 31st, New Year's Eve, we are going out for something to eat. So last year was the first year we went to the Indian restaurant in our village, and it was lovely. Even though we had to wait like 50 minutes in this really crowded reception with everybody picking up their takeaway, our table was about 50 minutes late. It was lovely, really great experience. My son really enjoyed it. So we booked that again for this year. So it's a bit of a new tradition. I think we're tables 7:30, something like 7:30, 7. I'll have to double check. But yeah, and then we can walk there and we can walk back. So it's great. And then we usually go for a walk on New Year's Day. I don't really like New Year. I'll probably be in bed before it's midnight. I can't stand all that forced joviality of New Year. It's great if with your friends and you're having a good time. But yeah, I've never ever enjoyed New Year. So that's the plan. It's a very, very busy month. I think my son's got a cinema trip with school. He's got a dress down day and things like that. So I might need to buy him some new trousers for his dress down day, because the ones he's got in the minute are absolutely worn out. But he's got money in his cash envelope for that. And my goals this month is a 5-week month, stick to budget. And then the other reminder I've given myself is nobody needs an extra Christmas present. And I'm quite proud of myself actually to get this far. I've hardly started my Christmas shopping, and I will be on budget, and I will have spent the least amount of money that I have spent on Christmas in any year that my husband and I have been together, which is, how many years is that? No, it's more than that. It is 22. So yeah, because I had loads, in my Christmas binder, I had loads of challenges. And if you look here, I've taken them all out. I've taken them all out because it's like, I don't need it. That's what I've spent. I just need to finish this £1,000 challenge. And I've got more than enough. I've got more than enough money to cover what I need to cover. And I have really stuck to the budget. So I'm really pleased about that. So I hope I haven't spoken too soon, but it'll probably be the first year ever that something will not have gone on a credit card. So there we go. That is an achievement in itself, I think. So let's have a look at the actual budget. Now, we did have a bit of a curveball. Talked about curveballs earlier. My husband didn't get his bonus. So my husband gets a monthly bonus and he didn't get one this year. Now, we don't know if that's right. My husband probably thinks it's right because they had a bit of a tough month last month. But we do need to check. But losing that income, and we started additional voluntary contributions to my husband's pension in September, which we didn't really notice because we'd had a bonus, and then we weren't paying for the cleaner anymore and we didn't feel it. But this month you can definitely see the difference. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit further so you can see the numbers. Okay. So this one's from 28th of November to the 30th of December. And as I said, it's a 5-week month for us, which you'll see reflected in some of our variable expenses. So rolled over nothing. And our salaries are 5,773. Now, normally, if you look at November, so there's November's real number, we were 6,073. So we are a bit short. And I think, let's have a look if I've got another one. Yeah, October was with a bonus, so it's 6,735. So yeah, so we are a little bit lower on that one. So child benefit, 104. I've only included one because really the other one is for, it's so late in the month. My month will be over before I'm spending it. So I will include that into January's budget. And then I've got a little bit of come from YouTube and some expenses from October and November, some mileage expenses from work. That should come to another 201. So I'll have 6,078. So we are about £300 short of what we normally are. About £500 before we started making the voluntary contributions, but you've got to be in it to win it. It's a very important priority for us, is to invest for our pension. Because you need an income, don't you, in retirement? So let's look at our our fixed expenses. So we do have a hefty mortgage payment of 2,041. We have council tax at 263, and then 2 life insurance and 2 accident and sickness policies come to 134. That's just gone up in December. It goes up every year, but so does the benefit. So I think when we started, it was £1,500. It's nearer £1,700 a month we get now. A TV licence at 15 and gas and electric at 337. I've really noticed that since we got the combi boiler, we are not using as much gas and electric as we were. And bearing in mind that's to charge 2 electric cars as well. So we are quite a bit in credit. And they did want to put my payment up to 450. And I thought, not a chance, not a chance. Water is 61. And then we've got 3 mobiles. So my husband, my son and myself, we're just all on SIM only. That's 45. Pet insurance for the dog is 65. My husband and my jib is 122. My husband has a weight loss app, like a food tracker weight loss app thing that he got when he started on the weight loss jabs at the start of the year. But he doesn't do those anymore, but he's still got the app. I think he signed up for a year. National Trust, we've reintroduced. So we've been National Trust members for most of our married life. There is a few years we've sort of missed it and thought, oh, we won't use it. And then we've actually missed it. So we've joined again. we're very lucky where we live that there are loads, probably nearer 10 National Trust sites within an hour's drive of our house. More if you kind of extend if you go down a further bit south, there is more. So yeah, we definitely get one of them where we walk the dog is 15 minutes away. So yeah, we enjoy being members of the National Trust. I think it's a worthwhile charity to support. I've got my Canva Pro, and then I've got my Ring doorbell. Need to fix that Ring doorbell actually. And then I've got Apple storage. So mine's $2.99 and my husband's is 99p. My husband's Apple Music, and then Sky TV and broadband. I don't really watch a lot of Sky TV. I normally watch Netflix, which is included in that. And I only watch it when my husband's out. So otherwise he's gaming or he's watching football, which is why we have the Sky. And then the broadband. So Sky's 60, broadband's 25. My son's gym's at 18. He just goes to the local, I was going to say council run, but they're not run by the council now, either. They're like run by someone else on behalf of the council. My Kindle Unlimited, and then PlayStation for the online gaming that my husband has. So that comes to $3,258 for all of our fixed expenses, which then leaves me $2,820. I do feel like we have quite a few subscriptions which seem to be sort of climbing up, but they are thought out and they are all used. It took me a long time. You know, I've had a YouTube channel for a long time, and I've only just recently gone for Canva Pro. So they are well thought out about the things that we need. It's like Kindle Unlimited. I had it and then I cancelled it and did without. But the thing is, reading is my hobby, which is why I never bother about my husband watching the TV, because I just read. It's my thing. So yeah, I've put that one back in again. And then on to our variable expenses. Now, I set our budget for food last month. I decided I was sick of setting a budget, it not being realistic, and us never being, you're just going over it all the time. And if you go over your budget every week by, say, 50 quid, that's £250 out of your budget that you were supposed to spend elsewhere. So I thought, let's be realistic and let's set a budget that is going to work. And I set our budget at £200 a week for the three of us, for all foods and drinks and what have you, and me with my special dietary requirements, and it worked. So I do a little challenge out of it, and I saved over £50, and I was under budget, so even including that £50, I was under budget for the first time in I don't know when. So I've done the same for this month. So I'm setting £200 a week for our food budget. But it's a 5-week month, so it is a very scary £1,000. We're not doing any catering for Christmas. We're going out. We're going out for New Year. There'll be a little bit of a buffet tea on Christmas Day, but I expect that there will be a fair bit of that. Well, I say that. It's set at £200 for a reason. So yeah, £1,000 budget for food. What everybody likes to eat and what everybody likes to spend on food is different. There are different dietary needs within different families, and that is our budget. Household and toiletries get £30 each for the month. Miscellaneous gets £5 a week, so that's £25 for the month. And then school meals is £60 for the month for my son. I've then got fun and eating out, which is £100. And date night, which is £100. So I'm trying to cover off all of the events that we've got in December. The only one that might not be covered is our New Year's Eve meal, which actually falls kind of into January's budget. So that'll be the meal out with my mum, any other bits and bobs, and then our date night with our friends. So I've given us quite a generous £100 budget because that'd be for taxis and things. And then we've got our normal spending, £140 each, so £35 a week. Even though it's a 5-week month, we're still getting 140. And And then my son gets £60 as an allowance. So some of that he gets as pocket money, and then the other is he earns that money for extra bits and pieces. So that's £1,685, which is a scary number for variable expenses for this month. So we've got £1,135 left to play with. And because it's December and we have got additional expenses, it's a 5-week month and we didn't get the bonus, I've had to cut the money from somewhere, and I've cut it from our sinking funds. So I would normally put £200 and odd in our, nearly £300 in our annual savings, our long-term sinking funds. I'm not funding any of them. Variable is sinking funds that it's more where I kind of ring fence money each month to help me manage my budget rather than long-term or longer-term savings. So money for my husband and son's haircuts goes in there. The money for charging my electric vehicle, other things go in that one, dog food. Birthdays, I am just funding my husband's birthday. And the reason I'm doing my husband's is because he is using that money to pay for a trip that he's got in the new year. So I need to have that money done for that one. And then beauty is £135, which is my nails and my hair. Those appointments are already booked, which is just what that one is. Okay. And then I'm putting £70 into challenges. So sorry, that's £290 going into sinking funds. It would normally be about 850 quid. So I have pulled some out of that to cover the bonus, but also to do the rest of our Christmas budget. So I'm putting £70 into challenges. I'm just doing December's Friday saver. And then Christmas is getting £300, and that will complete my planned budget for Christmas. So that's £660 there for savings goals, leaves me £475. And then at the bottom, I've got our two debts. So I've got our long-term debt, which is £349. If you haven't heard me mention that before, that is a very, very long-term debt with that bears no interest and no fees. And then I have got your standard credit card at 108. And that is, we had to have our boiler replaced as an emergency back in April, and that was half of the cost of that boiler. I was hoping to have a lot more of that paid off by now, but it just hasn't happened with one thing or another. So 457 to those two debt payments leaves me £18. So there we go. That is the budget for December. So tighter than I expected it to be. I did think we would be have more freedom this month, just to not to spend more, but just to not have to cut back on our sinking funds. So there we go. So if you do have any questions about our budget, then do let me know in the comments below, and I will be back in tomorrow probably with my cash stuffing for the first week of December. So do take care, and I shall catch up with you all soon. Bye bye.